Do not miss your chance to buy Gravitas Pour-Homme for the amazing special summer offer price of £70 or $90 delivered. It is the last few days of the sale as I upload this video. Go to NaughtonandWilson.com. That's where you order if you're in the USA, Canada or the UK, and if it's ordered in North America, it ships promptly from North America last few days of this amazing offer. Divorced single mums on dating apps.
Straight out of hell.
Me when the person on the checkout at Tesco asks me if it's still raining outside.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes. Look at you.
And finally, this is the clip I show to young people who try and tell me that film special effects were rubbish before CGI. Okay folks, welcome back to the show. Today I'm going to talk about my top 5 luxury gentlemanly fragrances. Very much an emphasis on the luxury end of the market today. Before we do that, don't forget my recommended USA-based fragrance sampling site is the Fragrance Decant Boutique. That's decantboutique.com. I've got a discount code for you. Mr. Smelly 10 gets you 10% off across their amazing array of fragrances. My recommended UK-based fragrance sampling site is Fragrance Samples UK, where that code Mr. Smelly 10 also works on a stunning range of fragrances. Both sites are linked in the description of this video. Highly recommended, personally, by me. Okay, let's get into these 5 amazing fragrances. So we're focusing on luxury fragrances, perhaps with a luxury price tag in most cases here, and also, more importantly, that they smell like money. Let's go for it. One that I haven't mentioned for a while, but I really do enjoy this one, and this is PM from Fragrance du Bois. Producer Michael worked in collaboration with the brand there, and he is a huge YouTuber who also has a really big history in the world of show business. Very interesting character. I've had him on my live stream, very privileged, and they did actually very kindly send me this fragrance in conjunction with the fact that I was going to interview him, and I don't get sent a lot of stuff free, so please forgive me. I don't include a lot of things that have been sent free, but I really do think this is a remarkable composition. And even if you go on Fragrantica, where people are notoriously cynical in reviewing big, highly priced niche fragrances, there's a lot of consensus. This one really does smell like money. The note listing is rather long, bear with me. Tuberose, secret florals, whatever they are, I'll never know. Juniper berry, cardamom, lemon, patchouli, Italian leather, cedar, orris root, labdanum, woody notes, benzoin and amber. So a fabulously luxurious and opulent note listing. We have an Italian leather note, which it reminds me a little bit of the accord that's in Tom Ford's Tuscan leather or ombre leather, but it's less prominent. There's a lot more to this fragrance. That one has a very strong suederol, I think is the aroma chemical. I think that's in here too, but there's so much else going on. It's different on every wearing. There's all kinds of different things. No notes that sort of jumps out at me, and I believe that producer Michael envisaged this one perhaps as reminding one of the interior of a brand new Rolls-Royce with its leather seats. Not something I've ever had the pleasure to smell, unfortunately for me, but I get where they're coming from. It's really luxurious, it's timelessly elegant, it doesn't smell old school, it doesn't really smell like anything else, it's unique, and it's very tenacious and powerful without being in your face or overbearing, but the tenacity, the longevity is excellent. Really top-notch stuff, fantastic presentation, truly luxurious, with an RRP, or a price that I found online, I think was £325 for 100ml, so very much in the luxury bracket. Next up, Invasion Barbare MDCI. Love this brand, love this fragrance, fantastic. Maybe the ultimate luxury barbershop style fragrance, perfumed back in 2005 by Stephanie Bacouche. Note listing of violet leaf, grapefruit, bergamot, lavender, cardamom, thyme, ginger, vanilla, musk and patchouli. It's powdery. It might remind one of a fantastically expensive talcum powder, maybe a man's talcum powder for whatever part of your body men use talcum powder on. Moving swiftly on, or a fantastically expensive shaving foam. It's a little bit less green and sharp than some so-called barbershop fragrances, a little bit less soapy, and rather more spicy, and with a subtle underlying hint of powdery sweetness, perhaps a benzoin stroke vanilla type accord. Really beautiful, very dapper smelling, very gentlemanly, and a bit like a Humphrey Bogart type vibe, I think. Excellent stuff. Very luxurious and gentlemanly and refined smelling. Costs quite a bit of money. I think I found a price online, £375 for 75ml. That's where you get the extra little bust thing on top. I think you've got an option to buy it on their site without that for less money. Anyway, amazing stuff. Love that one. The ultimate luxury barbershop smell. Okay, next up we're going to go for ROJA Parfums. Got to be in there because it's such a house that we associate with the idea of luxury and opulence and quite expensive prices too. ROJA Scandal, 2011 release. This is the Scandal Parfum Pour Homme, £410 at Harrods. I think this one for 50ml, so that's a high price. 2011 release, lemon, petitgrain, tarragon, basil, lavender,
jasmine, rose, lily of the valley cloves, nutmeg, patchouli, tonka and sandalwood.
What a lovely and gentlemanly and very, very regal and opulent smelling fragrance this is, with a bottle to match. I think that's a Swarovski crystal. Don't know much about those, but that's what they use. Really, really good stuff. It's been compared to vintage formulas of Dior's Eau Sauvage. It's by no means a clone of that, but I can see the comparison, and perhaps ROJA was... Mr. ROJA Dove himself was inspired by that fragrance. I believe that he's made reference to that in his thinking when he was coming up with this one. But it's got so much character of its own. It's really complex. Again, no note really jumps out as being obvious there. Oh, it doesn't suddenly smell like lemon or suddenly smell like basil. And in keeping with the way great fragrances are composed, it really just has this aura of its own, very special, manly, refined, reassuring smell. Fresh, yet complex. A little bit deep and rich, but not overpowering or in your face or vulgar. Amazing fragrance for these gentlemen of taste. And it's my only ROJA that I own. Next up, we're going to 1987. It's kind of my all-time favourite, maybe, arguably, depending what side of the bed I wake up on. Bois de Portugal from Creed, 1987 release, £265. I found this online for 100ml, so quite a high price. Bit less than a couple of the others. We've got bergamot, lavender, cedar, sandalwood, vetiver and ambergris. Pierre Bourdon composed this one back in 1987. Apparently Frank Sinatra's signature scent. I've talked about it so much. Lovely green bitterness with beautiful crisp cedar sandalwood combination. A little bit of that barbershop kind of lavender thing. It really is an upscale fancy pants fragrance for when you're dressed. It's very hard to imagine wearing that with a t-shirt and shorts, but you could. But I think it reeks of luxury. Old money. And number 5, we've got Fougere Royale from HOUBIGANT. It had to be in there, didn't it? This one you can actually pick up for £165 for 100ml, so rather more accessible in price. 2010 release, but it's a reimagining of the 1882 formula for what was the initial, the very first Fougere fragrance. Fougere meaning fern-like, meant to encapture the imaginary smell of a fern, because ferns don't have a very strong smell, really. How strange. Rodrigo Flores Roux is the perfumer for this modern version. It has bergamot, herbs, lavender, chamomile. It has rondelita, I have no idea what that is, geranium, rose de mai, cinnamon, carnation, amber, oak moss, coumarin, patchouli, tonka and clary sage. Again, really, really refined smelling. It's deep, it's warming. It has these kind of camphorous tones in there. And it has a real depth and complexity. You definitely pick up on that undertone of masculine patchouli. The barbershop Fougere structure is apparent there, but it's not very soapy or fresh or green. It has this rich, warming, ambery feel to me, and again, very gentlemanly, perfect level of performance, good tenacity, but not vulgar or overly in your face in the smell. It really is a very luxurious smell, and the price there a little bit more accessible than some of the others. Finally, if you want something that smells absolutely, in my humble opinion, as good as any of those, but has a much more accessible price, GRAVITAS Pour Homme from my brand, Norton & Wilson, currently on a very, very special offer, £70 or $90 delivered, which is insane. Our perfumer John Stephen has composed this one, released back in 2020, bergamot, lavender, mandarin, coriander, cardamom, pepper, oak moss, ambergris and vanilla. It is an absolutely beautiful fragrance. I get great longevity on my bottle, and it has the freshness of the bergamot that we so typically get, a little bit of juicy mandarin in the opening. Again, a bit in keeping with Invasion Barbare, but very different in smell. It has a powdery element and a vanillic undertone, which just balances out some of the more green and bitter notes. It really is a very, very reassuring masculine fragrance, and I can tell you that the quality of the ingredients, and indeed the quality of the perfumer who composed this one, is, in my humble opinion, on a par with anything that I've mentioned in this video. We just don't quite have the clout to charge those luxury prices just yet, but hopefully we'll get there. So buy your bottle before that happens. I will leave it there, folks. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support me and see an extra video each week, you can join the channel for an exclusive video, or you can also, if you'd rather not join a YouTube channel, you can go and support me in the same way and see the same weekly extra video on my Patreon. Mr. Smelly is all you need to search for. It's patreon.com/Mr. Smelly 1977, linked in the description. I'll leave it there. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. And although sometimes life can stink, at least we can always smell good, right? Bye-bye.